样的。
我看我应该不同，但是那个背景也没了。就是这样会好一点，就是半边脸是阴影的。
Hi, we're Steve and Mark from Cullen Property. We specialise in helping new or existing landlords who are looking to take that first step into using a property management and letting company on going through every step so that you don't have any worries at all about doing so.
At Cullen Property, we ensure our landlord clients experience a stress-free ownership experience. We do this by providing a market-leading letting agency service. We've been doing this for over 25 years and manage everything from one-bedroom flats to larger HMO properties and family homes. We provide a free, no obligation rental valuation visit with the intention of providing you with all the information for bringing your property to market and the subsequent management thereafter. We look after all necessary safety compliance, including smoke alarms, fire extinguishers, and we also carry regular property inspections. We let properties to working professionals and also to the many students here in Edinburgh. We look after every aspect of the management of the property so you can spend time doing the things that you enjoy.
Hi, we're Steve and Mark from Cullen Property. We specialise in helping new or existing landlords who are looking to take that first step into using a property management and letting company on going through every step so that you don't have any worries at all about doing so.
At Cullen Property, we ensure our landlord clients experience a stress-free ownership experience. We do this by providing a market-leading letting agency service. We've been doing this for over 25 years and manage everything from one-bedroom flats to larger HMO properties and family homes. We provide a free, no-obligation rental valuation visit with the intention of providing you with all the information for bringing your property to market and the subsequent management thereafter. We look after all necessary safety compliance, including smoke alarms, fire extinguishers, and we also carry regular property inspections. We let properties to working professionals and also to the many students here in Edinburgh. We look after every aspect of the management of the property so you can spend time doing the things that you enjoy.
Hi, we're Steve and Mark from Cullen Property. We specialise in helping new or existing landlords who are looking to take that first step into using a property management and letting company on going through every step so that you don't have any worries at all about doing so.
At Cullen Property, we ensure our landlord clients experience a stress-free ownership experience. We do this by providing a market-leading letting agency service. We've been doing this for over 25 years and manage everything from one-bedroom flats to larger HMO properties and family homes. We provide a free, no-obligation rental valuation visit with the intention of providing you with all the information for bringing your property to market and the subsequent management thereafter. We look after all necessary safety compliance, including smoke alarms, fire extinguishers, and we also carry regular property inspections. We let properties to working professionals and also to the many students here in Edinburgh. We look after every aspect of the management of the property so you can spend time doing the things that you enjoy.
or yeah, that makes sense.
So our first starters are out. In our 3 heats today, we have an unseeded start list, which means it's pretty random as to who's out when and when we think our fastest times will finish. Ralph Street of Great Britain is our first starter on the Heat 2. So fantastic to see Ralph racing again. I think he's struggled with a little injury recently, but he's feeling good ahead of the heats today. For our other Brits, Nathan Lawson is starting at about 9:20 on Heat 1. Peter Malloy is our last starter on Qualification 3. The GPS is now live on online, so if you want to access the courses and follow along with the runners, you can follow them as they run their courses. We've got some pre-warnings for you today, so we'll let you know some split times as they're out on the courses, who is leading when, and we'll let you know when to expect your favourite runners back in the arena. The courses start off very tricky. We've got a very complicated section with lots of forkings, followed by a big long leg that then opens out into lots of alleyways, similar to the 2022 sprint final that we saw over in Denmark. And then if you look towards the final control, we could expect to see people heading from the far side of the building. They'll then split, depending on which gaffle they've got, and then punch the final control and finish here in the arena. So on Heat 1 for the men's, we've got quite a stacked beginning of the start list. We've got Thomas Heekler out and Daniel Hubman 1 minute behind him. We've also got Matthias Rayner and Jakob Glonek in the next 10 minutes or so. The first big name on the qualifier 3 is Gustav Bergman of Sweden. He goes out in 1 minute. So our first runners are through our first radio control, which is about 50% of the way round the course. So Ralph Street about 9 minutes 6 minutes, sorry, at that point, 6 minutes and 5. Matthias Barros Valley about 6:15, and we've also just seen the Latvian runner through as well. So all running well, pretty similar times, but Ralph looks to be the fastest of the starting three. Interesting. A lot of people choosing to go right, but some have gone left. Giacomo Zaganel of Italy is through our first radio control. He is currently on men's 1 and he's down in 3rd place. Looks like he's been caught by Thomas Hakeler. We know that that is a strong heat towards the start of our start times today. We're expecting then to see Daniel Hubman next. Thomas Hakeler, though, is 18 seconds down on the time of Matthias Barros Valley at that point. This is only about 40% of the way around the course. We then do have a pre-warning for when to expect them into the finish. You can follow along online. You can follow their GPS. There are lots of forkings out there, so you'll have to select which heat you want to watch. But it is very clear that this long leg is splitting up the runners. In fact, Hakeler and Hubman did choose different routes. It'll be interesting to see who benefits from that. Daniel Hubman is through our midway point, 21 seconds down on Matthias Barros Valley. Only 3 seconds down though on Thomas Hakeler, so maybe that route choice isn't making a huge difference there. I can't tell for sure which one is the optimum route there. David Royas from Spain, a new fastest time on men's 2. He's gone 16 seconds faster than Ralph Street. The expected winning times today are 13 minutes. It's now been about 11 since our first starters, so we should expect to see them through our pre-warning fairly shortly. Gustav Bergman is through our first radio control. He's got a 5-second lead on men's 3. So that is 5 seconds faster than our Italian runner. Matthias Reiner from Austria, 9 seconds down, currently on men's 1. That's being led by Matthias Varosvali. A very, very strong heat towards the start. That is the heat that we are going to see Nathan Lawson running in. Elias Jonsson through in second place, 9 seconds down on men's 2. We have our first pre-warning. We're going to look out now then for Matthias Barros-Valley. The Frenchman has had a fantastic run, about 12 minutes and 10 seconds at the pre-warning. Ralph Street also approaching the finish shortly, 12:34 for Ralph. We do expect the winning times to be about 13 minutes this morning. So as they approach from the building, they should split, depending on who has which forking. But here is our first finisher. Matthias Barros-Valley is going to set a time to beat on men's 1. A fantastic finish there. Wait for confirmation of that finish time. Ralph Street now approaching the finish. This is going to be the first finish on men's 2. Absolutely fantastic to have such big support for the GB runners here at home. So only one person has gone faster than Ralph so far. In fact, no, Jakob Glonek has just gone through in second place on men's 1. And Elias Jonsson into second place, just ahead of Ralph, only by 5 seconds. That class is currently being led by David Rojas. And at the finish now, this looks like Freakish Spectres from Latvia. We've also now got pre-warning for Giacomo Zaganel and Thomas Hakeler. It looks tight between them. In fact, Thomas Hakeler could challenge for a lead here at the finish. He's only 1 second down on Matthias Barros-Valley at the pre-warning. Obviously, top 15 go through, so that looks like a good run from the Finn. So at the finish now, this is Thomas Hakeler. He's absolutely smashed this run. He's within seconds of the time of Matthias Barros-Valley. So it looks like 2 good runs there. Also finishing there was second place on men's 3, Ricardo Esteves Ferreira. In fact, we expect to see Ricardo Esteves Ferreira at the finish fairly shortly. We've also got a pre-warning for Daniel Hubman, who's lost time, 24 seconds down at the pre-warning. Andreas Bock-Bornesen from Denmark has gone through our first radio control, just 5 seconds down in the men's 1 heat. I think this looks like Daniel Hubman. It sounds like Daniel Hubman now approaching the finish. He lost a little bit of time in the second part of that course, but a strong finish nonetheless. Brody Nankervis from Australia has gone. We've got a pre-warning for a big lead in men's heat 3. It's exactly who you'd expect. Gustav Bergman, 36 seconds ahead of anyone else on men's 3 so far. That was David Rojas at the finish. He was 14 seconds down at the pre-warning, so a strong run. Henry McNulty from Australia is setting a new fastest time on men's 3. He's gone faster than Gustav Bergman by 6 seconds. But here is Gustav Bergman approaching the final control now. This is going to be a huge lead at the finish. It was the first big name on the start list for heat 3. 36-second lead at the pre-warning. Oh. We've got a pre-warning now for Matthias Reiner. We're also looking out for Elias Jonsson. In fact, it's close on men's 2. Elias Jonsson only 1 second off the lead at the pre-warning. So to confirm our current leaders, Matthias Barros Valle, in fact, is leading by 1 second on men's 1. Ralph Street leads by 19 seconds on men's 2. And Gustav Bergman is leading by 42 seconds on men's 3. None of them have gone anywhere near 13 minutes yet. The fastest time so far, 13:21. Elias Jonsson on the run-in now. This could be close for a lead, but it's certainly in the top 2. So he finishes 1 second down on the time of Ralph Street. Mealy Ome goes into second place on the men's 3 heat. A time of 14:04. But we do have a pre-warning now for Jakob Glonek. This could be a top 3 at the finish. He's 20 seconds down so far. It's still Matthias Barros Valle, our first starter, leading. Here he is, the Czech runner. This could be, oh, he's lost a little bit of time, but he's securely in the top 5 at the finish. So he finishes in 4th place, 13:48 at the finish. Some more big names have started and passed through our radio control 50% of the way round. Tim Robertson has a 10-second lead on men's 2, and Francesco Mariani a 5-second lead on men's 3. Ferenc Jonas a 4-second lead on men's 1. We've also seen Vara de Cooper of Belgium into 3rd place, just 10 seconds separating the top 3 on men's 2. This is Andreas Bock Bjornsson. This is going to be for a top 3 at the finish. He was within 10 seconds at the final control. In fact, I got my screens muddled there. Andreas Björk-Bornersson has been pre-warned. So he is about 10 seconds down on the current lead, so we'd expect to see him at the finish shortly. Joseph Lynch of New Zealand on men's 1 has gone through our first radio control. 3 seconds down on the current leader. Here is Andreas Björk-Bornersson. It's going to be 3rd place at the finish. "11 seconds down on the lead then. That's 13:32 for the Danish runner at the finish. But pre-warning for a new leader on men's 2. 6 seconds faster than, I believe, Ralph Street leading at the moment. Brody Nankervis from Australia. Judging by the GPS, this long leg is really splitting up the runners. Looks like Brody Nankervis is approaching the final control here. It was a 6-second lead at the pre-warning. He's absolutely flown round this course. Oh, in fact, it could be tight. He punches the final control in equal first place and he finishes in the lead by 1 second. So he takes the new lead on men's 2 ahead of Ralph Street. We've got a pre-warning now, though, for Loic Capburn. This could be a top 3 for the Frenchman. So a new leading time then on men's 2, 13:44 for Brody Nankervis. Andrei Golovi finishes just inside the top 10, 8th position on men's 2. Tell you what, the Australians are very, very quick today. Henry McNulty has just gone through pre-warning with a 10-second lead. But this looks like Loic Capburn. This is 2nd place at the final control, 8 seconds down on the lead. I think it's Gustav Bergman still leading, but Loic finishes in 13:45, 7 minutes down on Bergman. Valterhuis now approaching the final control, running for Belgium. Could be tight here for a top 10 at the finish. We've also got pre-warning for Tim Robertson, who has a huge, huge lead. But where is Henry McNulty? Here he is on the run-in now. This is going to be a new lead for Australia. So a finish time of 13:31 for Henry McNulty, which pushes Gustav Bergman down into 2nd place. 7 seconds in it. Looking out next for Tim Robertson, who was 30 seconds faster than anyone else. Ronan Lee looking for a top 5 here. Could be tight. 1 minute and 20 down, but here is teammate Tim Robinson, and he's absolutely flown. This is going to be a 30-second lead on men's 2. That pushes Brody Nankervis into 2nd place and Ralph into 3rd. So a finish time of 13:17 for Tim Robertson. Francesco Mariani on the run-in. This could be a new lead, actually, on men's 3. In fact, it is 2 seconds faster than Henry McNulty. We've got a pre-warning for Vara de Cooper. It looks like a top 5 at the moment, but he's 40 seconds off the lead. Joseph Lynch has had a good run so far. He's 8 seconds off the lead, and that is enough for 3rd place at the pre-warning. Here's Vara de Cooper. Could this be a top 5 so far at the finish? Joseph Lynch on the run-in now. He's maybe lost a little bit of time in the last part of that course, but it's still enough for a top 5. So a time at the finish, 13:45. That's 4th place, 24 seconds down on the time of Matthias Barros Valle. Martin Roundy from Czech looking for a top 10 at the finish. He's within a minute of the lead. Rotem Yogev from Israel looking for a top 10 at the finish. It's been a good run. On the run-in now, this is Jacob Steinfeld of Denmark. It's going to be 8th place at the finish. 1 minute 15 down on the time of Tim Robertson. Tim Robertson absolutely flew round that course though. 27 seconds faster than anyone else, with Brody Nankovic in 2nd and Ralph Street currently in 3rd. Matthias Barros Valle still leads Heat 1 with a finish time of 13:21. Matthias Peter from Austria, 7th place at the finish. We've got a pre-warning for Nathan Lawson of Great Britain, currently in 6th place, so it looks like it's been a good run so far. We're also going to look out for Emil Svensk of Sweden. Here is Nathan Lawson. It's been a good run. It was almost top 5 at the pre-warning. In fact, he's now in equal 4th position, 20 seconds down on the current lead of Matthias Barros Valle. But that's been a good run for Nathan. Equal 4th at the finish. He'll be happy with that. Pablo Ferrando of Spain goes into the top 5 on men's 3. So Emil Svensk finishes in 6th place, 46 seconds down on the time of Tim Robertson. So we've had 2 of our Brits through at the finish. Ralph Street is currently sitting in 3rd place and Nathan Lawson equal 4th. So both had fantastic runs. Peter Malloy is our final man to be running in the qualifiers today. He is our last starter on men's 3. Men's 3 currently being led by Francesco Mariani of Italy, a time to beat of 13:29. Pre-warning for Mika Kumula of Finland. He's 34 seconds down on the time of Tim Robertson, which puts him in 3rd position. And Eric Langadel Breivik has gone through our first radio control in equal 2nd place, but that's only 3 seconds down on the current leader. And a big name now, Yannick Michels from Belgium, has gone 2 seconds faster on Heat 3 than any other man so far. So looking out now then for the Finnish athlete, Kumula heading towards the finish now. Mika Kumula, it was equal 2nd at the final control, so that's a good run here. Keegan Hakavi finishing in 11th, just outside the top 10, but he's safe for now. Top 15 qualify for the finals this afternoon. And our final starter will go out in 3 minutes. Our last starters today are Vardo Casado, Bojan Blumenstein and Peter Malloy. Gian Andrin Koelen from the Netherlands on the run-in. Just misses out on qualification. Finishes in 16th. Josh O'Sullivan Horahan on the run-in now for Ireland. It's been an okay run. Looks like he may have lost some time. He was equal 13th at the pre-warning, but he finishes in 13th. 1 minute 42 down on men's 3, so he's safe for now.
Good, like I did one mistake. There was like a balcony and like a stair, but the course was the junction of both, so I couldn't see that it was a dead end. So I need to go and turn around. But like I think I did a good course. I don't know much about it. Very good. But, yeah, it was great. Did you enjoy it? Yeah, I enjoyed it.
training been going well?
Actually, like orienteering, no, but like physically, I'm good. Like I had a couple problems beginning of the year. I had like dengue, like fever, like mosquito fever, like really bad. But like I recovered, like now I'm okay.
I have to go and talk to my other job.
We've got a pre-warning for another fast time heading towards the finish. Harvard Stansted Eidsmo from Norway into third place, 7 seconds down on the current leader in men's one. I think Matthias Varos Valle is still holding that lead. He was our first starter and he really truly set a time to beat here today. Peter Parfjanovic will qualify so far. Currently, he secures a top 10 at the finish. But here is Harvard Stansted Eidsmo. This is going to be a top 3 at the finish. There's only 8 seconds dividing the top 3. He finishes in a time of 13:30. Francesco Mariani is still leading that class so far, but Yannick Michels did go faster. We've also had Martin Regborn and Tino Polisi both go through our midway radio control, both of them in 7th place, although there may be an issue with the timing of Martin Regborn's, but Tino Polisi 7 seconds down on men's 2. We've got pre-warning now for Axeli Rola and Adrian Delen, both in 2nd place. But Adrian Delen is still 29 seconds down on the time of Tim Robertson, who's absolutely flown today. So this will be an easy top 3 for the Finnish runner. He finishes in equal 2nd place, 2 seconds down on the lead of Francesco Mariani. Adrian Delen finishes in 2nd place. So that pushes Ralph out of the top 3. A time of 13:41 for the French runner. 24 seconds down on Tim Robertson, who's absolutely destroyed everyone today. Eric Langendal Breivik finishes in the top 5. We've also got a pre-warning for Yannick Michels, who will potentially take a lead here at the finish. But currently, who is in 15th place? Keegan Huckabee is currently sitting in that danger zone. Céline Corbett, as well as Josh O'Sullivan Horahan, are both in that danger zone. Here is Yannick Michels. He's flown round. He's had a fantastic run. He's extended the lead to 8 seconds now. So he can ease his way into the finish there. Florian Attinger will finish significantly lower down in the results. 24th at the finish. Pre-warning for Thomas Krivda. But also Endius Titimers is currently in 13th place, so he could miss out on qualifying if he doesn't get here quickly. Zoltan Budoso from Hungary. This is a top 10. Should be secure for now. All of our runners are out. Our last runner went out 4 minutes ago. Thomas Krivda approaching the finish now. He's had a good run. It was equal second at the pre-warning. In fact, he's second now. So a smooth run into the finish should secure him a qualification here today. Nathan Borton, the New Zealand junior, just back from WOC. He's going to miss out on qualification today, unfortunately. And just Titimers has lost some time, and it's not going to be a qualification here today, unfortunately. Pre-warning for Martin Rigborn. He has a 10-second lead on men's one, so he's gone faster than Matthias Barros Valle. And Peter Malloy is through our first radio control. He's our final Brit out today, and he's our only Scottish man today. And he is currently in equal 9th place, 21 seconds down. So he's got some work to do to catch up a little bit of time to stay safe. But being last starter, we know that whatever position he finishes, he will remain in. This looks like Martin Rigborn. This is going to be a new leading time on men's one, faster than Matthias Barros Valle, the first person to go faster since the start. So time at the finish, 13:11. Pre-warning for Tino Polisi. I tell you what, Tim Robertson's gap is just silly. Tino Polisi, 23 seconds down, but that's enough for second place on the men's heat 2. We've also got pre-warning for Ahmed Kazmaz from Turkey. And it's going to be tight for him as to whether he can pull up a couple of places to qualify. Paul Prusiner just outside that qualification window. This is for a top 20 at the finish. So currently sitting in 15th position, we've got Ilya Otreshko from Ukraine, Uldis Uptis from Latvia, and Rotem Yogev. So those guys are in the danger zone here. Tino Polisi now on the run-in. This is going to be for second position, second to Tim Robertson. Ahmed Kazmaz just misses out on the qualification standard at the finish. That's 16th place at the finish. Yanis Bonek on the run-in now. This is going to be a safe top 10. But we've got pre-warning for Casper Fosser, who's probably taking a bit easy this morning. He's in 6th place, 12 seconds down on the current lead. Mattia De Bortolis from Italy, currently in 14th at the pre-warning. So for now, he's safe, but he's got some work to do to catch up a bit of time to keep safe. But here's Casper Fosser. He's taking it easy today. He's cruising in. This is going to be almost a top 5, but 6th place. And he looks so chill as he crosses the line. Here's obviously our defending champion from WOC in 2022. Back in 2022, Casper Fosser was our champion with Gustav Bergman from Sweden in second, and Yannick Michels was third. So all three of those runners are here to try and get another medal this year. Mattia de Botelis has pulled up that time, 13th at the finish, within a minute of the lead. So now that Mattia has finished, that pushes Hiroki Kamaki from Japan out of the qualification standard. Alvaro Casado was our final person to go through our midway radio control, and he was in third place. Only 5 seconds dividing the top three at that point. We've got a pre-warning for Ewan Shingler. It's not been his day this morning. We've also got a pre-warning for the Ukrainian athlete Ruslan Glibov. Ewan Shingler and Ricardo Sancho on the run-in now. Looking out though for the Ukrainian athlete Glibov. He's got 2 WOC medals to his name, and it's going to be just outside the top 10 so far. In fact, he's pulled himself up a couple of places just in the final part of the course, so I think that's a pretty secure qualification there. So he finishes in 9th in a time of 13:58. Ilya Andreshko is still hanging on to that 15th position, that final qualification position in the men's heat 1. Pre-warning for Peter Malloy in the top 10. This is Emil Obro. This is going to be tight for qualification. 12th at the final control. We've also got a pre-warning for Alvaro Casado in equal 2nd place. Looks like Peter Malloy now approaching the final control. He is our most local runner in today's, this morning's competition. Pete's had a great run this morning. This is for equal 10th at the finish, and he was the last starter, which means we know that he has successfully qualified for this afternoon's final. He'll be buzzing with that. It's his WOC debut. He's making it at home. A fantastic start to the day for Peter Malloy and for all of the Brits. At the moment, they are all in that qualification zone. So that pretty much rounds off our qualifiers today. That is our top 15 in each heat. We've had our first women start on the course. Grace Malloy was our first starter, along with Pia Young-Vick and Cal Kondo. All of them off to a good start. Grace is flying. She's almost a minute faster than the other women at the first radio control. So the women's course is very similar in shape to the men's. We've got the same long leg that was splitting up the guys. But Grace Malloy has had an absolutely flying start to this course. Our second runners have also been through, and Sandra Grosberger is 38 seconds down on Grace. Pia Young-Vick not got off to the best of starts. She is already down in third place. Hannah Lundberg is leading that race at the moment by 2 seconds. And that is ahead of Inka Nurminen from Finland. In fact, the start of that heat is pretty stacked. We're also looking out for Teresa Yanashikova at that point. Also in that heat, Aoife van Dongen, the bronze medalist from the knockout sprints back in 2022. There's also Elina Gembler, as well as Australia's Nia Shingler. Charlotte Ward is in this heat for Great Britain, as well as Tove Alexanderson and Cecile Colondri. There's quite a slow start to the Heat 2 for the women. Grace was our first starter with Sandra Grosberger behind her. But we don't see many big names until the end of this heat. We've got Caroline also off second last. Simona Aebersold just before her. And this is also where we're going to see Fiona Bunn. And Heat 3, we've got Megan Carter-Davis, the defending champion. Laura Robertson is in this heat for New Zealand. Ida Agravig Christiansen from Denmark, as well as some more big names. Natalia Gempeler is in this heat. Venla Harju, Anne Diakorn, Sarah Hagstrom, Tilla de Smul, Evely Karsaku, and Rita Maramorosi. It's nice to see some juniors running up to the elite level today. There's some WOC debuters who have got some very, very successful JWOC results. In fact, our first runner is through our pre-warning. Grace Malloy was the first one off in women's 2 with a pretty big lead. No one's come within 38 seconds of her so far. Teresa Yanashikova has had not the best start to this course. 40 seconds down currently puts her in 4th place. But Grace will be our first finisher in the women's class so far today. So she is going to set the official time to beat. Pia Young-Vick also through our pre-warning. But Grace now is going to approach the arena Grace, also very local to Edinburgh. She lives just up the road, but she's flown around the start of this course. No one's come near her and any of her times and any of her splits so far. Fantastic start to Grace's campaign this week. So a time at the finish, 13:02. And I mean, that's pretty much bang on 13, and that's the expected winning time here today. Pia Young-Vic should be approaching the finish fairly shortly, but Inka Nurminen has almost caught her. Inka Nurminen is headed through our pre-warning. Sandra Grosberger is also pre-warned, and she's dropped a bit of time, which means Grace's lead has extended to 46 seconds. Meg Carter-Davis, our defending champion, is through our radio control. It's about 50% of the way round, and she has a 20-second lead. Pia Young-Vic at the finish now for Norway. This is her first WOC after a very successful few JWOCs. Sets the time at the finish, 13:54. We've also got pre-warning for Hannah Lundberg. Jessica Lacetta of Italy has got off to a good start, third place at the midpoint. This looks like Inka Nurminen on the finish straight now. This should be a new lead at the finish, pushing Pia Young-Vic down into second place. So 13:39 is the split at the finish. Sandra Grosberger on the run-in now, 52 seconds down on the time of Grace Malloy, who absolutely flew round. Kao Kondo from Japan is the first finisher on women's one. But next we expect to see Hannah Lundberg. She's never been to a sprint walk before, but she had a fantastic season. She's been sprinting well so far this year. Here she is on the run-in now. So she is going to set a new fastest time on women's 3. Pushing Inka Nurminen down into second place, so that's a 10-second lead, and Pia Young-Vic into third. Eve van Dongen is through our midway point and equal third place, only 8 seconds dividing the top. Well, if she's equal, the top 4. Alexandra Hornick into second on women's 2. But we've got pre-warning for a new lead on women's 1. Laura Robertson looks to have caught almost Anna Nilsson-Sinkovic from Austria. And we're also looking out for Teresa Yanashikova, who didn't get off to a good start, but the second part of her course has been stronger. Here is Anna Nilsson-Simkovic. This is going to be a big lead on women's 1 by about 40 seconds. So new time to beat then at the finish, 14:27, which is still slow compared to the times that have been put down by Hannah Lundberg and Grace Malloy. Laura Robertson now approaching the final control. Could this be a new lead? In fact, it will. This is the faster time that we've been looking for. This is going to set a new bar to beat. She'll go less than 14 minutes at the finish. So 13:53 is the new time to beat then on women's 1. That is Laura Robertson from New Zealand. Here is Teresa Yanashikova. Some potential mistakes at the start of this course, but she's had a clean second half. That's going to be 4th at the finish. 43 seconds down in a time of 14:13. We've also got pre-warnings for Elena Primatova, Ida Argove Christiansen, as well as Megan Carter-Davis. We expect to see Alina Primatova at the finish shortly. She's going to have to fight hard to stay safe on this course for the qualification rounds. Here she is, Alina Pitrimova. This is going to be third, but Ida Argovic Christiansen, this is going to be a new big lead on women's one. A time at the finish, 13:07, so a fast time, similar to the time of Grace Malloy, but that's a 46-second lead on women's one. And that pushes Laura Robertson down into second. Here is Megan Carter-Davis. She's had a great start, a great run here. This is going to be yet another new lead. And this is fast. This is very, very fast. Meg finishes in a time of 12:39, so she's the first to break that 13-minute barrier. And she's not just broken it, she's smashed it. That is such a fast time for this qualifier. Mariana Esteto finishes in 7th, and this here, Erica Enderby of Australia into 6th place on women's one. 2 minutes 29 seconds down on the time of Megan Carter-Davis. We've had some more names go through our midway radio control. Alina Gempela's had a good start, and now only 4 seconds divide the top three in women's 3. Ana Isabel Toledo from Spain into 3rd place on women's 2, and Maria Perito also from Spain into 3rd on women's 1. We've got pre-warnings for some more top 3 positions. Isaiah Basse from France into 3rd on women's 1. We're also looking out for Jessica Lachetta and last WOC's bronze medalist in the knockout sprint, Yves van Dongen. This is Cho Yu Lam from Hong Kong. This is enough for a top 5 so far at the finish. 4th place in a time of 16:01. Marine Cillian from Belgium. This is a top 5 in women's 3. This is Yves van Dongen. She's had a good run. Just behind her, Isaiah Basse. Both of these girls will take 3rd at the finish. And here is Jessica Lachetta. This will be 3rd place as well at the finish, so safe at the moment.
Run. Any mistakes?
Alexandra Hornick is through our pre-warning in 2nd place on women's 2. That is the heat that Grace Malloy is currently leading. Malin Agveg Christiansen has gone through our midway radio control with a 3-second lead on women's 3. That pushes Alina Gempela into 4th at that point. But looking out at the finish for Alexandra Hornick, as well as Hannah Müller of Germany. Alina Gempela through the pre-warning, and this could be tight for a top 3. Obviously, it is the top 15 that we care about here today. So a fast time early on bodes well in the competition. Alexandra Hornick now on the run-in. This will be for 2nd place behind Grace Malloy. Inês Augusto for Portugal finishes within the top 10. And Hannah Muller on the run-in finishes for 6th place. Just over a minute down on the current lead, which I believe is still Hannah Lundberg. We're expecting to see Alina Gempeler at the finish next. Alina Gempeler at the finish now. This is a easy race for her now. This is only 5 seconds down on the time of Hannah Lundberg for 2nd place. The men's results, the provisional men's results have now been published on the side of the download tent, and there are 15 minutes for protests. Fruzina Mag from Hungary. This is going to be top 10 at the finish. She's running alongside her twin sister this week. And this looks like Maria Perito. This is going to be a top 3. Yan Wang finishes for China in 8th position. And Sarah Wimbley on the finish now. This is going to be 8th place, pushing Yan Wang into 9th. Anna Isabel Toledo just outside the top 3, but that's a fantastic time to set down on women's heat 2. Liliana Gotseva from Bulgaria finishes just missing out on the top 10 at the finish. And Robin Astridge from Canada, she's going to fight for a top 10 place at the finish here. So our current leaders, Megan Carter-Davis, Grace Malloy and Hannah Lundberg. We've got a pre-warning for some favourites now. Natalia Gempeler has been pre-warned in 4th place, but she's almost a minute off the pace. It's Megan Carter-Davis that is leading that heat at the moment. We've also got a pre-warning for Marlin Agatha Christiansen. She is currently sitting in 4th, but only 10 seconds down. Lizzie Ingham through the pre-warning in 5th place, and Yoon Sun Cha in 14th will have to push hard. Lily Adicott from the USA in 12th. But here's Natalia Gempeler on the run-in now. She's cruising in. In fact, she's pulled herself up into 3rd place. 40 seconds down on the time of Megan Carter-Davis, but that's looking like a secure qualifier for the Swiss runner. Marlin Agatha Christiansen on the run-in now for 3rd place. Aideen McCavanagh for Ireland into the top 10. In fact, the Danish athlete pulls herself up into equal second place for a bit more security. Nia Schingler is pre-warned in 7th place. Andrea Diakosova from Bulgaria in 13th. Lizzie Ingham, the New Zealand runner, now heading towards the finish. This will be Lizzie's 11th World Championships. So that looks like a nice top 5 at the qualifiers here. Lily Adicott finishes in 12th place. That could be a bit of a danger zone here. Viviana Paula Guerrero Hurtado finishes in 13th, and Andrea Diakosova finishes in 12th. Andrea about 2 minutes and 10 seconds down on the leading time. That is still being led by Hannah Lundberg. Yoon Sun Cha finishes just inside that top 15 boundary. Nia Schingler now on the run-in. It's been a good run. This is for 7th place, 36 seconds down on the time of Hannah Lundberg. So a fantastic run for the Aussie. And in fact, she's still a junior, so she's had an absolute flyer there. So time for Nia, 14:06. She didn't qualify back in 2022, but that looks like a good, strong run there. We're looking out soon for Filipa Rodrigues, who looks like she could qualify here for Portugal. 18th place, less than 2 minutes down. That was Madalena Di Basi at the finish for a top 10. We've got a pre-warning for Charlotte Ward. And on the run-in, this is Danielle De Vicker from Belgium for a top 10. And Filipa Rodrigues finishes in equal 7th. So both secure for now. Charlotte Ward on her way to the finish shortly. Looks like she may have lost some time out there today. She's almost a minute off the pace. But that is enough for top 10 for now. Some more big names have gone through our midway point. Tova Alexandersson from Sweden has gone 11 seconds faster than Hannah Lundberg for a new leading time at that point. And Finland's Venla Harju is in 3rd place. At the finish now, Emma Waddington will finish in 11th place, which is secure for now. And in fact, a surprising new lead at our midway point is Hungary's Victoria Mag. Charlotte Ward on the run-in now for Great Britain. This will be for a top 10 at the finish. Potentially some errors out there or some little time losses, but 9th at the finish, 14:27. Victoria Mag from Hungary has equalled the time of Grace Malloy in the women's heat 2. Berta Friedrich from Germany goes into 6th place at the finish. Maëlle Beauvais from France has been pre-warned in a very secure position. And we've also got a pre-warning for Venla Harju, who's lost time here. We've also got pre-warning for Elena Babic from Ukraine, looking for a top 10. got Avsi Atman from Turkey at the finish now. This will be 13th. But we've got a pre-warning for Tova Alexanderson with a 30-second lead over Hannah Lundberg. Anouk van der Berg at the finish. This is going to be tight for qualification. 14th so far. And Maëlle Beauvier at the finish. This will be a secure finish here in 4th place. Olena Babic here at the finish. This will be for a top 10, in fact equal 9th at the finish. We've also got Venla Harju, the Finnish athlete. This will be 4th place at the finish. 57 seconds down on the time of Megan Carter-Davis. Evelyn Broughtingham. But here is Tova Alexanderson with a big lead on women's 3. 33 seconds ahead of Hannah Lundberg. She cruises in. Evelyn Broughtingham is currently sitting in 15th position, and that is the danger zone here today. Wingman at the finish just misses out on qualification. And Anna Grohl from Austria finishes just within the top 10. Sarah Hagstrom is through our first radio control about halfway round the course, currently sitting in 3rd place on women's 1. And Hedvig Valbjørn Goodison looks to have lost some time here, and she's down in 14th, which is a dangerous position to be in here. Victoria Mag has been pre-warned. She was flying at the start of this course, the young Hungarian athlete. But looks maybe like she's dropped a bit of time. She's now 21 seconds down, but we should see her at the finish soon. Gabia Razatite finishes in 7th place at the finish. Looking out next for Ireland's Niamh O'Boyle, who's on the cusp here of the top 15. Kana Higuchi at the finish just misses out on that top 15 spot. But here is Victoria Mag. She's absolutely flown. And Barbara Matyakova into the top 10 at the finish. Victoria We've got pre-warning for Anne Dakorn from Norway, and she's down in 8th spot, and she's actually a minute and a half off the pace here. This is Hanula Katrin-Pandis from Estonia, and at the moment that's 14th at the finish. Anna Dakorn for Norway. This will be a top 10 at the finish, and Agata Olenik will finish in 15th, right on that barrier of qualification. There's still a good few finishes yet to come. Cecile Colondri pre-warned in 6th place, and Elsa Kuls from Latvia in the top 12. Elsa Kuza here, she's pushed hard for the last bit of this course, and it's going to be 11th place at the finish. So Elsa Kuza on women's 3 looks pretty secure for now. Still a good few runners left. Caitlin Young running for Australia here. This is going to be a top 10 at the finish. She's had a good run. And Cecile Calandri looking for a good time here within a minute of the lead. So all 3 of those runners currently finishing within that top 15. It could be tight for Elsa Kuz. Austrian Kutkaiti from Lithuania into 8th position. And we've got a pre-warning for Sarah Hagstrom. She's a minute off the pace, but that's enough for 6th in her heat. We're also looking for Hedvig Valbjørn Guddersen, but here is Sarah Hagstrom. She's pulled herself up a few positions. She's still a minute down on that leading time of Megan Carter-Davis, but it's a pretty secure finish there. A time at the finish, 13:37, puts her in 5th place. That also pushes Elsa Kuza down into 12th. Looking out for the Danish athlete, Hedvig Valbjørn Guddersen is looking for a top 10 at the finish. In fact, she's pulled herself up some positions as well. She's going to finish inside the top 10 quite cleanly here. And just looking at our midway point, Simona Abersold has taken a 10-minute lead on women's 2, so she's the only person to go faster than Grace Malloy. Tilla de Smul from Belgium is looking for the top 10 at that point, as well as Katarina Delera. Andrina Benjaminsen is pre-warned in 6th position, and Jana Petrova from Czech is going to be tight for a top 15. Maja Sionsa from Finland. This is going to be for an easy top 5 at the finish. In fact, it's 4th position, 50 seconds down on the lead. Potentially a late mistake there for Jana Petrova. She needs to finish soon. There she is, Jana Petrova is equal 13th at the final control, so she'll push hard to the finish, and that could be a qualification, but it's right on the cusp. In fact, she finishes in 14th, which is in a bit of a danger zone there. Anastasia Ristova into the finish there. And here is Andrina Benjaminsen. This is 6th position within a minute of the lead. It's still Grace Malloy leading that 2nd heat for the women. The only person faster than her has been Simona Abersold. Fiona Bunn has gone through that midway point and she's lost about a minute. She's a minute down on the time of Simona Abersold, sorry. And that puts her in 17th, so she's got to climb her way into that qualifying standard. Eveli Karsaku from Estonia has got off to a good start. She is in 3rd place at the midway point. Ying Yao Chu finishes in 15th position. So for now, she will qualify. Niamh Corbett has dropped a little bit of time in the second part of the course, but a good, strong finish there. Finishes just outside the top 20. The next person to finish to challenge these qualification times is Tilla de Smol from Belgium, just back from a good JWOC. Caterina Dallera from Italy has also gone through our pre-warning, but she's down off the pace. And Simona Abisold has gone through that pre-warning. She's extended that lead 21 seconds faster than Grace Malloy. I think she is probably one of the favourites for today's final. But next we're looking out for Tilla de Smol. Here she is, tall figure, approaching the final control in those Belgian stripes. This is going to be a top 10 at the finish, so a pretty smooth qualification, I think. There's only 5 people left on that course to finish, so that looks positive. Caterina Dallera from Italy should be approaching the last control now. In fact, here she is. This is going to be really tight for qualification here, but Simona Abisold is about to smash the time of Grace Malloy, 24 seconds faster. Caterina Dallera finishes in 14th, so that's going to be tight there for that qualification zone. But Simona looks to be in fantastic shape for this afternoon's race. In fact, she's the only person in that heat to have broken the 13-minute barrier. Fiona Bunn on the run-in now. She's pulled herself up that time that she dropped, and this will be for 11th place at the finish. She should be happy with that. There's only 2 more people left to come, so that is Fiona pretty securely qualified. Miliki from Australia finishes in 18th position. In fact, Fiona Bunn managed to pull herself up a place on the run-in alone to finish in equal 10th position. Eveli Karsaku has been pre-warned in 3rd position. We're looking now at some of our last finishers. We've only got Rita Maramorosi left after Eveli Karsaku on that heat. We're also looking out for Carolyn Olsen. Carolyn Olsen, in fact, she's down off the pace. She's down in 13th position. So she's got some work to do to secure that qualification. She has been pre-warned, however. Alison Campbell on the run-in now. Yuvena Veremienko just misses out on that qualification mark, finishing in 17th position. There's only a 2-minute window for that qualification zone. Here is Carolyn Olsen. There's only one person to start after her, and she will finish in about 13th position. In fact, yes, a time of 14:16 at the finish will secure her a qualification. Eveli Karsaku finishes in 4th place, and she will also qualify here. Zara Stewart finishes just outside that top 20. And Rita Maramorosi has been pre-warned in 8th place. Ylvi Kastaner from Austria will finish in 8th position. 1 minute and 20 down, but that is enough to qualify, and qualify very securely. We're just looking out for Rita Maramorosi. Rita's had a fantastic junior career so far. Plenty of JWOC medals. Here she is at the finish. It's her first individual WOC event, and she's going to qualify comfortably for this afternoon's final. So I am fairly confident that that pretty much rounds off our top 15 in each category. And our fastest qualifiers were Megan Carter-Davis, Tova Alexanderson and Simona Abersold. So there's no surprises there. A massive thank you to all of the supporters who have come down to cheer on the finishers this morning. Enjoy your WOC tour race, and we'll see you all this afternoon in Edinburgh City Centre.
Hi, we're Steve and Mark from Cullen Property. We specialise in helping new or existing landlords who are looking to take that first step into using a property management and letting company on going through every step so that you don't have any worries at all about doing so.
At Cullen Property, we ensure our landlord clients experience a stress-free ownership experience. We do this by providing a market-leading letting agency service. We've been doing this for over 25 years and manage everything from one-bedroom flats to larger HMO properties and family homes. We provide a free, no-obligation rental valuation visit with the intention of providing you with all the information for bringing your property to market and the subsequent management thereafter. We look after all necessary safety compliance, including smoke alarms, fire extinguishers, and we also carry regular property inspections. We let properties to working professionals and also to the many students here in Edinburgh. We look after